How's everybody doing? Thank you for showing up. Can everybody hear me on this microphone? The video look good? If somebody give me a thumbs up or something. It's always weird to talk when nobody's listening to you. Can everybody hear me here? There may be a delay in the chats. It may take me a minute to get it, but let's see. German Shepherd Mom says you can hear me. All right, you can hear me. Good. So it's loud enough and everything. I was working on that earlier. So, all right, good. You can't see me. Mia Pio, you can't see me. We can see and hear you. All right. So some people can see me. That might be a you issue with the can't see me. I don't know. But anyway, thank you guys for coming. I've just been doing this. I've been enjoying meditation for the past year and several months. And I started doing these YouTubes and videos and these couple of live streams. And a lot of people seem to enjoy them. And I enjoy kind of interacting with the people. And sometimes I've noticed in the meditation world, it could be a little bit lonely. You're out there and you're trying to meditate and I don't have any other family members that are into it, so or even a whole lot of friends myself. So this is a good outlet for me. So I'm grateful to have you guys here. But a couple things I could talk about up front is there's no cover charge to get in here. We're not asking for any money. The only thing I ask is you just like the video, and if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that. And then just write in the chat where you're from. Maybe you already did it. I don't know. I just got here, but just make sure that's the only entrance fee is just make sure you type in where you're from. It's always good to see where people are calling. And we've had people from Israel, from India, and all over the world. So it's been kind of exciting. So I'm kind of just started this live stream here because I've been doing them on Monday nights, and I've had probably about 6 or 7 Europeans reach out to me and say, hey, listen, can you start one a little earlier so we could get into it? And so I said, all right, well, let's see what happens if anybody shows up on Thursday. So thank you guys for coming. Also, I just got a new thing I'm trying up here, doing a poll. If you guys are going to be meditating, once I get done with the little talk and answer some questions, we're going to do a meditation. And it looks like synchronizing your energy to love so far is in the lead. So maybe some more people show up, but go vote, and the highest vote, clearly we're going to be meditating to that. So whatever you guys want to do. And all three of these will be Dr. Joe Dispenza meditations. And I do think let me see here, I think 2 of those you would have to lay down at the end. If anybody has to prepare for that, you have to lay down at the end. And at the end of this call, we're going to switch over to a Zoom call. So I'll send a link in the chat. So if you don't have Zoom, go and download it now. And then at the end, I'll send a link, and then you just tap into that, and we'll all go over there and meditate. It's worked out in the past pretty well. So we'll see if that's true here. So Dr. Joe meditations are the best. They are really good. I got New York here. All right. Anybody from Europe on here? Did I miss that? That's why I'm supposed to be doing this. I think if anybody in America's on here, they're just skipping out on work. North Carolina, Netherlands. All right, got Russia. Irina's here. You made it. Congratulations. You stayed up a little late. Belgium. All right, cool. So anyway, I figured Nico made it. All right, he's a regular visitor from Mexico City. Thanks for showing up, Nico. So maybe some of y'all have been on my YouTube live streams before, maybe not. I'm kind of taking this as, maybe a lot of people haven't really seen me before. So I was going to share a little bit about myself. I won't spend too much time doing that. But my name is Gregory Hodges, and I'm from Spartanburg, South Carolina. And I've been meditating for about a year and a couple of months. Probably about 14 months. And so I got into meditation because I lost my brother to cancer, and I was trying to find ways to deal with it. Watching him die slowly, it was a terrible thing. There were emotions that came up that I'd never experienced before, and so I was desperate trying to find ways to deal with it. So I did all sorts of different types of things, and then I ran across meditation. I ran across Dr. Joe Dispenza specifically on YouTube, which I think a lot of people on here are familiar with his work. And so I found that and started, I gave it a shot. I started meditating, and it felt like work in the beginning. It was frustrating. I didn't like the meditations at all. I didn't understand why people would do it. I was, I was trying to figure out how I'm going to keep a job if I'm going to meditate all day. They're talking about meditating for an hour. That's crazy. So that's where I was then. But now I meditate anywhere from an hour to 3 hours a day. And I can't imagine doing a day without meditating. It makes a good day great, and it makes just a crappy day good. And everything just gets enhanced when you meditate. And it's all basically just the good stuff. Any problems, they get turned down. The volume gets turned down. So I'm grateful I connected with the meditation. I had a big experience when it first hit me. I basically went from 0 to about 100 really fast. My body started convulsing. I went to a Dr. Joe Dispenza retreat. My body started convulsing and shaking, and I had a meditation experience. It was a wild, bizarre experience, and I will put a link in the description at the end of this video if no one has seen that. I'll talk more in depth about that whole experience and my experience there at the retreat. And it totally changed my life. It changed the trajectory of my life. And it was a big moment. I didn't realize that meditation would do that. I thought meditation was just kind of like, it's you meditate and you feel a little less stressed. And so that's kind of how I got into meditation. Ever since that day, I don't think I've missed a day. Maybe one day in the past year and a couple of months I've missed meditating. It used to feel like work. It's not work now. It's like it's just a part of what happens. I thought I was going to not lose out on making money. I thought I was going to lose time spending time with friends. I thought everything in my life was going to have to subtract that. I thought I wasn't going to be able to work out more, but I haven't. There's been nothing in my life that's changed or that I've lost in my life due to I've spent time meditating. If anything, all it's done is just made everything else better. I've made more money. I've made better friends. Just everything that I just mentioned is, I still have time to work out. Somehow or another, you just implement it and it just works out. And so it's not work for me anymore. It's just a part of life, and I can't imagine not doing it. I mean, it's great. So I reckon if anybody's on the fence, I recommend just sticking with it. I know there's a lot of people that get frustrated with it, and that's one thing that I try to talk about on here is because I was frustrated. And there's no real strategy. I tell people that, meditating is kind of like, it's kind of you're using the same muscle in your brain as you do to blink. I mean, how do you describe how to blink to somebody? So meditation's similar way. It's hard to explain that and translate that to some people, So, but I will say that, with the people that are frustrated with meditation, I understand totally. It is hard, but you have to come to some realizations too. Meditation is not something, from my experience, it's not something that you try. Anytime I've heard anyone talk about, well, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try doing that, there's a common thread of everyone that has come to me since I've been doing this YouTube video stuff. I've had a lot of people from all over the world call me, and most people that are reaching out to me, they're frustrated. And so they're looking for a little assistance. But there's a common thread that I've heard from hundreds of people that are struggling with meditation, and that is the word try. It's just an observation. I don't know what it means, but the people that are frustrated, they always talk about, well, I tried doing this. I tried that meditation. I tried closing my eyes. I tried laying down. They talk about trying stuff within meditation, and my experience has been is meditation is you're not trying anything. You don't need to try. There is no trying in meditation. All you need to do is just let go. Now, what does that mean? It took me I never understood that phrase. Like, let go of what? Like, what's let go of the wall, the door? Let go of that? I don't get it, And I didn't know what that meant, but you have to get out of the way of yourself. This has got nothing to do with you, even though you're here. You're just a vehicle in this journey. And all you need to do is meditation is just like plugging up your cell phone to the computer. You have to figure out how to make that connection. You don't have to understand what happens between the computer and the cell phone. I have no idea what happens, but I know that when I plug it up, everything gets in sync and my phone's charged up. And so meditation is the same way. You're not going to figure everything out, and you're not going to understand everything. Some things you will, but there's some things that there's no way you will ever understand how meditation works. And some people claim they understand. I think they've got an opinion on it, but That's been kind of my experience. So you have to get out of the way of yourself and get over yourself and quit thinking that, one thing that I hear with people is, they want to try, they want to do this, they want to do that, they want to lay down, they got to get the right shirt, we got to be comfortable in the AC. My kids have to be out of the house. I thought that too for a long time until I connected with the meditation. That's got nothing to do with it. And if you make that about your meditation, that these things have to be perfect, or you have a preference of how things should be in order for you to meditate, then you're probably struggling with meditation, because that shouldn't affect you at all. Meditation is just as simple as blinking your eyes and getting into that state. I can personally do it when I'm walking around. I can do it if I'm even talking to somebody. And I'm not trying to say that to try to brag, but you have to realize that it is that simple and is that easy. And that's what makes it so hard. It's not trying to do anything. You don't go in. You got, well, let me back up before I get off the reservation a little bit, but you have to get over your preferences. If you're bringing in a preference of how you think this meditation should go, if you're trying to design it, you're trying to make it happen, then you're probably going to struggle with it, because that's not been my experience. Every time I've done that, I feel a disconnect. And for me, it's very obvious if I'm in or out of a meditation. I feel like I know when I'm hooked up to it and when I'm not. And so you have to get over your preferences and quit trying to control the situation. There's no controlling these meditations. When you hook up to it, the meditation is going to do what it's going to do. Like I said, you're just a vehicle on this journey. You're just going through it, and you're just experiencing it. You don't get to control how, people. I'm kind of maybe speaking a little bit out of turn, but people say they manifest this, or they want to get that, or they want this to happen. And I have manifested certain things, but what I've noticed with meditation, you may go in wanting something, but I think the meditation gives you what you need, and it fixes the foundation of who you are, so then you can grow upon that to where you can actually end up getting the things that you want. But it's not always going to give you what you want, but it will definitely always give you what you need. That's been my experience with meditation. So another thing is, anyway, I'm talking a little bit about this, but if anybody has any questions, come up with some questions. I'll ask them, I'll let you ask them here in a little bit. I just have about 2 more hours of talking, and we'll get there. No, I'm just kidding. So if anybody's just showing up that's new, we're just talking. We're going to do a little question and answer. We're going to do a meditation. We've got a poll over here to see which meditation we're going to do. It looks like we're up to Blessings of the Energy Center it's got the most votes right now. So we're going to see who wins at the end of this talk. Got a race on. It's looking good. So anyway, I hope this makes sense. I may be going over maybe too much, too fast. But I'm trying to just kind of hit some points of where I've noticed some people are frustrated, and how maybe I could help with that if I do it all. But another thing is I hear a lot of people say is they have a problem with their thoughts when they're meditating. And I hear that one all the time. They go, well, and it's been my experience. They go, well, they talk about their thoughts are a problem, and they're trying to make their mind not think. And I'm going, here, everybody that's frustrated with meditation says that, but people that aren't frustrated with meditation, I never hear them say that. And now there's probably some guru or there's somebody out there that's maybe preached that, but I don't. I've never heard it, so I don't know where they're getting the information from. I think that it's just assumed that that's what's supposed to happen. But the thoughts in your mind, I don't think you have a whole lot of control over that either. It's basically, you just don't want to engage or wrestle with those thoughts when you're in a meditation. They're going to come up, and you want them to come up. You want to come, and I think where people get frustrated, they don't like it because they know it's coming behind those thoughts, and there's some dark crap they've been holding on to. And they know they've been pushing down in their life. They know that there's stuff coming up. They know that what's coming behind is something they don't want to see. I think they know it subconsciously. So they abort and get out of the meditation. They go, I can't control my thoughts. Well, I don't think you're supposed to control them. There's no control in meditating. You just have to let them just kind of be there. I mentioned last week on the live stream that I was down in Cartagena, Colombia, and I saw this great aquarium. It's this massive aquarium, had all these fish in there. And I started just looking at it, and I don't know, I've got crazy analogies, but there's a bunch of fish in there. Some of them were just sitting there, and then some of them were just flying around and just doing all this stuff. But I was sitting there just enamored with the colors that they have down in South America. And interesting colors I've never seen before. And but I was trying to look at these fish, and I asked, and they were flying around so much. I was kind of like, man, it'd be cool if you guys could chill out and just stop, so I could look at you and see the detail on the side, you know. And I started thinking that that's similar to what people try to do with meditation. It's like looking at the aquarium. You're going to have some thoughts there that just the fish are going to just be sitting there, but you're going to have some that go flying around. The thing is, you're not going to control those fish inside of the aquarium. I mean, they're going to do what they're going to do. But what you don't want to do is start yelling at the fish. That's not going to work. Like, they're not going to listen to you. And so that's what you're doing with your thoughts, is you're yelling at your thoughts thinking that they're going to stop. And I think ultimately you're yelling because you know there's some crap coming up from that place. And that's what you want to have happen. Meditation isn't always a pleasant experience. My first experience wasn't for the faint of heart. I mean, I had my experience was extremely intense for me compared to a lot of other people that I've talked to. And I'm not saying that I'm better or anything, but that's just been my observation so far. I'm sure people have had experiences as intense, but mine was very intense. I wouldn't recommend it for a lot of people. But I'm grateful. I wouldn't change it for anything. So, but yeah, you don't want to control those thoughts. You don't want to engage with them. They're just going to be there. Just let them sit there and just let them be there, and be okay with it. And go, even if it's something that you don't want to see. It's I'm convinced you're supposed to see that. You're supposed to sit there and be okay with it. That's when you're changing your brain. You're changing the connection of those crappy thoughts you've been holding on to. When you just observe them without trying to relive that experience and go, oh, there it is. And you're doing that within the meditation. That's really when you get some powerful changes I've noticed happening. So don't worry about the thoughts. Just don't engage or wrestle with them. That'd be my advice that I could pass along. So, anyway, does anybody have any questions? Any questions about what I just said? Maybe I skimmed over something. Wasn't really clear on anything. But I do recommend that, I'll say another thing is, I hear a lot of people, they go into meditations and they're like, well, I want to manifest $1 million. I want a new girlfriend. I need a new car. I need a new house. But yet they're also still frustrated with meditation. So this is a journey. It's not a one and done kind of thing. It's maintenance every day. You're tuning up your car every day. So I wouldn't, if you're frustrated with meditation, I wouldn't go in there trying to bring in 10 things that you're trying to change right away. Go in there and just focus on how can I literally get out of the way of myself and just connect with this meditation. Because ultimately, whether you want these things to happen or not, once you do connect with it, you don't have much control. The thing's going to do what it's going to do. I mean, you're on a ride that it's like a roller coaster ride. You don't control where the roller coaster goes. So I would just say, just focus on one thing, and that's just connecting with it. And if it doesn't work that time, do it the next time. Just focus on doing that. And that's what I would try to do. Don't bring a whole bunch of baggage with you and say, I need my whole life fixed in this one meditation. Now, there could be a lot that can change in one meditation, but there's also some changes that happen over long periods of time. I've told people a lot is, if I had a preference between which meditation I would prefer to have, now I have mystical experiences and I don't have control of when they happen, but I would say they probably happen at least once a month, and if not maybe twice. But if I had a choice between that or just a regular mundane meditation where I'm like, nothing really happened, I would take the mundane meditations, because I can see after a year and a couple of months, I can see real long-lasting changes that have happened because of these meditations. That those meditations are kind of like stacking bricks. And you just every day you're stacking another brick. It doesn't seem like much at the time, but you get 6-8 months down the road and you go, man, that house is starting to look pretty good. I'm going to live in that thing. That's going to look good when I get done with this. And you get excited. And I'm excited who I'm becoming and who I'm getting back to being. I'm getting back to my old self. Not my old self, but I'm getting back to my real self. I'm getting rid of all that crap that was covering me up. So, anyway, I hope this is making sense. I feel like I'm probably shoving a lot down your throat over there in Europe. But thank you for showing up. Again, if you're just showing up here, all you have to do, we're not asking for any money, just make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and then put in the chat of where you're from. And then if you want to vote for what meditation we're going to do, Blessings of the Energy is still holding on to the lead. But, synchronize your energy to love could come back real quick. You never know, a couple of votes. So, all right, so I'm going to go through here. Are there any questions? If you have questions, I'm going to open it up to that. If you have questions about maybe some of your frustrations, or maybe I kind of skimmed over something and I didn't really explain something well, I'll go back and elaborate. But because I did kind of go over a lot of stuff. So let me see here if I can. All right, so I'm going to put this up. It's how do you handle ruminating thoughts? Oh, give me 1 second. Let me make the screen bigger so I can. There we go. That looks better. How do you handle ruminating thoughts, replaying past conversations that lead to resentment and anger? And I can totally relate to that. Again, like I was kind of saying a little bit, is when those things come up, whether it's a thought, an idea, whether it's that story of resentment of the past and our anger. I've dealt with that with things in my past with certain relationships that I've had. And they come up and it feels like it's messing up a meditation, but it's not. It's supposed to be there. That's the thing that you're working on. And what you need to do is just be fine with it. You have to realize you're sitting on your couch. You're not actually getting punched in the face by this story or whatever it is that you're holding on to. What's happening is you're meditating and it's starting to come up. When it comes up, it's like catching a big fish. You want that to come up, but you just don't want to engage with it. Just sit tight and just realize, hold on, don't get bored out of the meditation because you don't like it. It's supposed to be there. The more time you can spend there during that thought or that resentment or that anger that you're holding on to, and without engaging it, you're rewiring your brain. And but just keep in mind, there's no danger wherever you're meditating. I mean, for the most part, most people in their house or, somewhere safe, But so many people get afraid and they just kind of are bored out of the meditation. So you want that to happen. And if you do that enough times, I've noticed those resentment and angers, I've changed my perspective and they don't come up anymore. The thought's still there, but I kind of go, I don't know. I don't hold on to it. I don't relive those memories and relive that emotions that come along with those. So that's how I handle that. It sounds like you're on the right track. Just keep doing that, but just don't get angry and have resentment during it. Just go, there it is. Yeah, I see it right there. It's kind of messed up. I don't know why they're there, but hey, whatever. And if it keeps coming up, just let it keep coming up. That means you're still dealing with it. It's not like a one and done. Sometimes you got to keep beating this thing down to let it go. So there was a quote a friend of mine said the other day. It was, if you want to heal it, you got to feel it. So, you're going to have to feel some of that crappy emotions that come out. And the more you start dealing with those types of things, then it'll start to get easier. You'll start to have more pleasant experiences. So it's not always bad experiences with meditation, but some people think they're messing up meditation when that's happening, but I think you're on the right track. So anyway, all right, so I think I just hit that question. And fully feel, allow, flow. I think this is a question. I'll put it up here and see. Oh, it's got Moscow, Russia in the house. All right, Irina, do you still have days on which you feel low or lower than you would like to? And if yes, what do you do on such a day? I meditate. I mean, like I said, if I feel low, I have good days, bad days. I woke up today not feeling so hot. So I sat down. I did some meditating. I felt better. I did. But to me, the answer to everything now is you need to spend some time meditating. And the meditation will help you with so much that it just gets you on the right track for everything in your life and so many other things. So, but yeah, I have days like that. It's not like you don't have bad days, but like I said, when I meditate, it takes a bad day and makes it a good day, and it takes a good day and makes it an amazing day. And so that's how I would fix a crappy day or feeling low or lower than I would like to. That's what I do. But that's a good question from Moscow, Russia. All right. So, how do you get into the darkness quickly? Um, what I do is, I mean, because I did engage with it, I mean, once I discovered it, my body started convulsing. I understood exactly what to do, and really, what to do is nothing. You don't do anything, and you just start turning off the television. You close your eyes, you look into the blackness, and there's a TV there that's already off, but you turn it off, you start shutting everything down, and just start just bringing it all down. But once you can find it, you could get there really quickly. You know, I could get into it right now, I could get into it 1 second, but it's not about the quickness. That's just, I mean, I'm able to do that. That doesn't mean that everybody has to. And my body shakes. So it also confirms that to me, they're like, well, I'm in a meditative state there. So that's helpful in that sense for me. But what I tell people, one of the best things that I do, some people focus on their breath, some people focus on a word. But for me, I just focus on my heart, the area. And that's how I started finding it. So, what I do is I take the tip of my finger, and then the area of my heart is, and so I'll just touch that area, and I'll just think about the pressure that I'm using to touch that area of my heart. I just go, yeah, there it is, and that's it. I don't make it any more than that. I don't make it. It's not a big. I'm in my heart. I get this feeling, and I'm bringing it on. Now, maybe some people get through with that, but you're trying to make something happen. You want this to be a big, like, oh, I have to get in my heart and make this like a powerful. No, I'm just literally just going, meh. I'm focusing on that area. And that's it. No big deal. It's just no big deal. And I guess one thing I could share is I focus on that area. But I talked about this last Monday. But you want to what you want to do is you want to turn down the thoughts of your past. You want to turn down the thoughts of your future, and you want to turn the volume of those down. And when you do that, that doesn't mean that you take that energy and make more of yourself and thinking, well, now that I turned all these things down, I need to now I can be, do more here. No, you just do nothing here, and you turn that down. Now, you can't control your thoughts. You want them to be there, but again, it's what I mean by turning them down is probably just more like engaging with them, like I mentioned before. So, but it's literally, that's all I think about is just that area right there where my heart is. I don't make it a big deal, and I just sit there and go, and I kind of like you would stare at a wall until your eyes kind of blur out. I just kind of just check out. I just do that, and then you kind of start getting there. It's like I said, it's hard to explain. There's, people have written books and books on this thing when really it's something that you could just get there just like that. And that's the amount of time that it takes. But unfortunately, when you're trying to meditate, you can't go back and refer to a certain chapter in a book and say, hold on, I got page 13 on chapter 2. It doesn't really, I don't think that works. So, but, all right, let me see if there's some more questions here. Let's see. I find it very hard to stick with it as my external world does not match the feelings I tap into while meditating. I feel great meditating, that my life shows me that it's all in my mind. Let me see here. I find it very hard to stick with it as my external world does not match the feelings I tap into. Yeah, I mean, that's a deep question. Henry, I'm not going to lie, man. I'm from South Carolina. I probably need a little bit more information. Um, I would want to make sure that I get on the right track. It's not that your question's wrong. If you could maybe give a little bit more information, then I would understand better and be able to answer it better. I mean that in the best way possible. It's more me than it is you. I promise you. I'm from South Carolina. We're the reason why there's cliff notes. All right, so cultivating uplifting feelings while meditating, and try to feel that after you are open your eyes, although this world may look different, stay in the energy of positivity. Yes, you're making a statement. That's great. All right, here's a question. You got one from Henry. Yeah, this is the same Henry. All right, so Henry Jones. What time of day do you recommend to meditate? How long per day? Do you listen to Dr. Joe for every meditation or sometimes sit in silence? Good question. For me, I don't think there's a particular time that you have to meditate, whether it's the morning or night, or some people talk about 4 in the morning. I don't meditate at 4 or 5 in the morning. I don't get up that early for anything unless there's a lot of money involved. But I think they talk about, getting up at 4 or 5 because that is a time where your body's tired, and there's a lot of scientific reasons why that I've heard that you're easier to be able to let go and dial down the thoughts of the past and your future to be able to connect with the meditation to give you a better chance. That doesn't mean that you have to do it then, or it's more special then. I mean, it could. I've had great meditations at 2 in the afternoon. I've had them at 3 in the morning. I've had them. But normally I'm not getting up. Normally I'm staying up if I do that. So how long per day? I mean, I do about an hour to 3 hours a day. I mean, I know some people do 5 minutes. I just know the more time you can spend there, the sooner you can change back to being yourself again. That's the short answer. And do I listen to Dr. Joe for every meditation or sometimes sit in silence? Yes and yes. Sometimes you don't have to have a meditation. Those guided meditations are just there to try to help take you to that connection of the cell phone and the computer, connecting with the meditation. It doesn't have to happen. You could sit there in silence. You could turn on, so you could do either one. They're probably I personally turn on guided meditations, whether it be Dr. Joe's or someone else's. I kind of like some music and I kind of like to hear a voice, but I don't really pay attention to them anyway. I mean, I'm already connecting. It kind of helps take my mind out of the area of where I'm at. I'm sitting on my couch. I'm not thinking about the kitchen. I got to clean the dishes or something, So that's why I kind of like the music, but I don't pay attention to the music. People have told me before, they're like, I don't like the music on that meditation. I'm a musician myself, and I don't really care what the music sounds like. I'm not listening to music. I think people just find reasons to get out of meditations because they don't want to do it. So, all right. So here's one. Do you visualize? Do you see your heart in the universe, or darkness, or anything? No. No, to me, that's making it more than you have to, and I think, let's see. I just literally just think of it just right there. It was the tip of my finger, and this tip, to me, Nico, that's trying to make something happen. It needs to be in the heart in the universe, or in the darkness, or you're getting in there deep trying to make something happen. That's my take on it. But there's not one way to do it. There's a lot of people that go in about doing meditation a lot of different ways, but you could go out there, listen to different people, and take different strategies, and find what works for you. Some people focus on their breath. Some people focus on a word. I think some people don't do anything. I focus on this area right here. So that's what I do. So you kind of have to play with this and find what works for you. It's not exactly one way, and everybody's journey is different. I'm sure my meditations and someone else's meditations don't really look the same. Different people, different brains, and different energy and all that stuff. So, yeah. That would be my take on it. Thank you for the question, Nico. Nico's a regular caller. Hello, translation, please, from Spain. Gabriela. Thanks, Gabriela. I don't know Spanish. I'm sorry. All right, let's see. All right, let's see here. Got one from RR. Is there much repetition listening to Dr. Joe's teaching on stage when you return to multiple retreats? Does it even matter? Oh, gotcha. Okay, so yeah, I mean, Dr. Joe, he definitely at his retreats. I've been to four of them. Yeah, there's a lot of repetition, but you know, to me, that when I go to the retreats, I'm really kind of, I feel like I have a good understanding of what Dr. Joe talks about. But that information that he gives out, and some people may argue with me, but it's that information that he talks about, the science he talks about, all of other things that he talks about that anyone was listened to. That's all information that is there designed to be able to show you that it's okay to let go, that this isn't a crazy thing. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to understand why meditation works. You don't have to understand how it works. And you can still do it and get the benefits without understanding what it is. But that is what I'm convinced all that information is for. It's very interesting, and it's very helpful. It definitely helped me get into it. It didn't sound like some kind of crazy guy from some foreign country. I didn't understand his language and just crossing his legs naked, So I probably would have been tougher for me to get into that. So it definitely helped me be able to get to the place to where I can let go. And so Dr. Joe's kind of like a preacher of this stuff. And he's got a good message, and it connects with a lot of people. So there is some repetition going to the retreats, but it's even repetition day to day. He kind of repeats himself out there a good bit, but the information, really, what I enjoy about the retreats is the time spent meditating with 2,000 people that are into meditation. I mean, it's a powerful thing. It's like adding jet fuel to your meditations. You could feel it. I mean, it's a strong presence. If nobody's ever done this live stream, we've been doing this live stream a couple of weeks, and I do them here in my house, and I can feel when I get done, the meditations are already stronger than, just if I were to sit here by myself. So I enjoy that as well too. So that's one reason why I go, is the meditations are strong. I feel like I'm getting a lot of work done. So here's another question from Henry Jones. Going to the Dr. Joe event in Nashville, my body gets sore after sitting too long. Any suggestions for how to prepare my body? I know they vary, but how long are the seated meditations typically? You're going to sit down all day. You do a little laying down. You do a couple walking meditations. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what kind of pain you get into. I mean, you could stand up in the back. I mean, I've seen people do that where they just stand up in the back, or, so you can get up and move around when you want to. But there is a lot of sitting, so if that's a problem. But I'm telling you, man, just go. I mean, I don't know how much pain it hurts to sit, but just fight through it. I would just fight through it. So, but I should be at Nashville as well too. All right, so got. All right, so German Shepherd. All right, let's see here. Does anybody have any more questions? Would like any more questions answered? Right now is a good time to ask them. If you haven't subscribed or liked the channel and you want to follow along on my journey and just stuff that I talk about that's about meditation, then you would want to subscribe and like this video. Maybe someone else out there will see it and get some benefits from it. It looks like on the meditation poll over here, it looks like Blessings of the Energy is in the lead still. It's Sync Your Energy to Love's got a long way to come back. So, all right, so Henry's got, I didn't finish his question, I guess. How long are they? They're, well, the meditations, he does some, they're probably an hour to 2 hours, somewhere they vary. Maybe 3 hours sometimes. But I would say mostly on average about an hour and a half. But there's one you do. It could be like 4 or 5 hours. So that's a long one. But, you know, I don't know. It changes it up. You know, you should just go. It's going to be all right. They're going to take care of you. If you're sore, you're hurting, you just go stand up. If you don't want to, if you want to stop meditating, you just stop meditating. Uh, yeah, 7 hours. I think I maybe did 5 or 6 one time. We started like 4, then got out of there at 8. So that was 4 hours. I don't know. Do you consider attending another Dr. Joe's week-long event soon? Yes, I'm planning on going to Nashville. That's my intention. I'm not that far away. So I used to live in Nashville, so I know some people up there. I got some good people living there. So, any questions? Any more questions before we move on? All right. So I guess it's time to get it on and do some meditating. We're going to go meditate. Is that right? All right. So, all right, hold on. Thank you for answering Zoom. Won't be on the Zoom, but meditating here with you all at the same time. Okay. We could go download Zoom if you want to. You know, I didn't think about it, but maybe not every country has that. The meditation will probably be about an hour. About an hour. Let me see. Well, I got a couple. Let's see here. It'll be about an hour. Just count on about an hour. Hour 5, or maybe it's like 55 minutes, somewhere in there. So, let's do this. Let me get this Zoom together. It'll take just like 1 minute. I'm going to put the link up here, and then what we're going to do is take about a 5-minute break. Everybody got to go use the restroom if you have to, and whatever you got to do, and then just click on over to the Zoom link. So we'll get started once I put the link in, and give you about 5 minutes to get ready. Which blessing of the energy? That's a good question. I got 4 of them. Probably do. How about I just pick one randomly, and we just go with that and see what happens. They're all good. So we'll just go with that and see what happens, because I do have about 4 of them. Now, so yeah, let me get the Zoom up. I'll put the link in the chat, and we'll get this going here in just a few minutes here. Just bear with me. It won't take long, I'm certain. All right.
Recording in progress.
All right, hold on. We're getting there. Advanced. All right, participants. All right, here we go. So this is the link here. And we're going to give it about 5 minutes. And I'm going to keep this chat up. So if anybody has any problems, you can ask me a question. I'll be looking. But we're going to give it about 5 minutes, and we'll everybody be over at the Zoom call over there if you want to come on. Loretta showed up. So that link worked. So we're good on that. Everybody make sure that you mute your microphone when you come in, too, for once we get started. Hey. All right. Great. All right, I'll see everybody here about 5 minutes. Okay.